So to do this job, obviously you need the brake pads and rotors. We are going to be using either one of this type of caliper compressors. You're going to need a crescent wrench. You're going to need a 14 millimeter socket or something like it to get the caliper housing off. I use a torque stick to put my wheels back on. This is a 90 foot-pound torque stick. To get the wheels off, you're going to be using a 19 millimeter socket wrench. We're going to use a hammer. Well, you're going to use a hammer if you don't have a what did you call it? This is a impact driver. So a hammer if you don't have an impact driver. 17 millimeter to get the caliper bracket off. Wire brush. A large Phillips. Another wire brush. And lube. High temp brake lube is what we need to get this going. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share throughout all this, please. Alright, so we're going to use the 19 millimeter on this one. My airline is going bad, so sorry that you have to hear that. Tire off. Alright, so now we want to unlock the wheel. Oh yeah, and we're not going to forget to turn this off. You're going to need to take the cap off of the oil reservoir for the brake system. So we're going to make sure that we take this off just in case it builds up pressure and it needs a release somewhere. Don't forget to put it back on. Alright. Turn the wheel towards you. Sorry, the caliper towards you. Then we're going to take these slider pin screws off, and then these retainers right here for the actual caliper housing. There's no, oh, you know what, it's probably a 14. It is. So this is going to be a 14 millimeter on the top, or on the caliper. This one's super hard. Got it off. You get to watch me. Ooh. Make sure it's all the way on. Oh, it was on. Just loosened it up really good. Alright. Bring this over here. You don't want the weight to be on your brake line with it sitting somewhere. Also, you're going to be careful, like I'm doing right here. Make sure this is bent back off your rotor before you put it together. The reason why I'm doing these brakes is when you brake, it wobbles. So I know we've got some warped rotors. I was honestly expecting to see some heat spots on here, but no. For these back bolts right here, I believe these are going to be like a 17. I'll be right back with the 17. Okay, so now 17 right here. Just gonna loosen this up. These ones are usually pretty hard. Use a breaker bar to get them off. I'm really gonna cheat right now. Ha! Yahtzee. Alright, so now we got that off. Now we're going to clean off this caliper housing. We're going to clean these off, the sliders right here where the metal's going to touch metal. Also, we're going to lube up the sliders inside here. To clean these off, I would recommend using a wire brush. Alright, so I have a soft bristled brush right here and a harder or metal bristled brush. So I'm gonna just clean all this residue or brake dust off. Make sure you got a nice good bare metal. You want to make sure you have bare metal right here in the groove, also on the bottom where it meets right here, and it's, I believe the pad's gonna meet right here too. So anything where the pad is going to meet, clean that off really good as you can. Perfect. So now with the softer one, I just go through and make sure it's all cleaned off as best as possible. Perfect. And just get these as clean as you can. Like I said, can't be too clean on these. And in all honesty, I was lubing these up. Put some brake grease on them before I put them on. Nice lather, like not a lot, but good. But I got a lot of complaints. And actually, look at this. So this one is seized, where it was. Barely any lube on that. So same thing with this. You want to clean this off. If there's any chunky or gunky oil on it, residue grease. And then you want to lube the shit out of these. I'm running really low on my lube. But the more the merrier. I see it on these. Because you want these things to be soft and go in and out like, I don't know, a good cheap fast hooker, I guess. Just kidding. Alright, perfect. I'm using high temp grease right here for brakes. I got this years ago. I'm now running out, so I don't know what the hell that was in there. Time to get some more. Oh, look at that. Daddy like. Perfect. Let's work on this one just a tad bit more. Alright, and that'll be it. Get the air out of it. I like to do that. See, you got a little bit of air. Squeeze the side of it. Now your air's all gone. Alright. This rotor, this is called a floating rotor. Hopefully you guys can see it right. It's actually not floating. Alright, so to get these rotors off, they are floating, but they have retainers. You're supposed to have this hammer screwdriver, but I broke my Phillips, so let's see how this is gonna go. We could spray some PB spray on it, and then we're gonna use a Phillips. Where? There it is. So here's a Phillips. This is just gonna be to hit it and break it. Alright, now let's see. Okay. Took some oomph. but it came out. And again, this is just breaking up the rust that's in there so that it comes off easier. So not a huge necessity to have the impact driver, that's what it's called, but it would help a little bit in the situation. Go figure, the rotor doesn't want to come off. It just rusted on. That's it. Bow. Alright, these are rotors I got from eBay. That one's going to be the right one. Perfect. You know, I really don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way to directionally put these on, in all honesty. But what I do, what I do is I make sure that like it's cutting forward, you know. I think it looks cooler. So that's the only reason why. Maybe they're supposed to go that way. One time they came with stickers and that was the way they went, but I'd already previously been using it that way. I've got a lot of these rotors from them. A lot of people don't like the drill because it cracks between the drill spots. I've never had the issue on my Tahoe. I've got 200,000 miles on my rear rotors. Shit, and all of them actually that are drilled and slotted are really good. These are pads that just came with the set I bought. I usually buy these rotors and go down and get like premium pads, but I've installed these on a few of my friends' cars. They didn't have any problems with it, so I figured I might as well treat myself like I do them, right? And do it the same way. Alright. So now we're gonna go ahead and put this rotor back on. Nope, this is the caliper housing. And you see I have no lube where the bare metal is gonna hit, or right here, hit the brake pad itself. You guys also might be wondering why I took the cap off of that brake fluid reservoir. We're almost to the part to where I did so. These you're gonna wanna, when you put them back together, good and tight. So these ones right here, you're gonna want them good and tight. I usually just use my gun to put them back on, but do it like you guys will. So these you want them as tight as can be. I've never broke one, but don't break it, I guess. I doubt you will. Alright, so those are as tight as can be. Your pad with the wear indicator is going to go on the inboard side. Should slide right in, like so. Oh nope. Let's do this one. Uh-oh. What is the major malfunction? There we go. He wanted to put it in an even way. So when you put the pad on, it won't go in like that very easy, but go like this and fold it up. Voila! So that's it for putting these pads on. So now we're going to compress this caliper. This needs to go in. I have two different styles of caliper compressors. these are my two different ones right here. This is I use for more of like Mercedes type stuff, where there's a dual piston caliper. This I'll use for this type of application majority of the time. What I do is put one of these brake pads back in, bring this all the way back down. Like so. Now, if the caliper won't push back in, then you could have a seized caliper. You could rebuild them. I usually just buy new ones. They're loaded if you go to the local hardware store with pads sometimes. But this one went in with ease. And that's it. So now, make sure you don't twist your brake line. Put these back on. Perfect. Something I learned at work lately is if you blow your yard off before you mow it, you could get everything you have to blow away will suck up in your mower. So, like the guy across the street right now, he did it the opposite way. Now he's blowing everything into the street. And my allergies are bad! Alright. I'm going to squeeze the air out of this one. Got it. And this one too. All that excess grease that just came out, make sure you wipe that off. Just so it doesn't get anywhere on the actual braking system. That wouldn't be a good idea. Alright, so now we just need to tighten this up. Now, and also when you compress that caliper, you might get fluid leaking over at the reservoir, so don't be alarmed. That's why we took that cap off, just in case it wanted to build up pressure somewhere. You might have to use a crescent wrench. Alright, so crescent wrench, just to hold it. In this one, you want to go good and tight, but not too tight, because you can break these ones. These ones break a lot easier. Okay, everything is nice and tight. I'm going to put the wheel back on. Actually, I'm not putting the wheel back on because I am going to rotate these tires. So I did notice that the wear on the front of the tires is a little bit worse than the rear tires. Got a lot of tread on those rears. I haven't rotated them in 10,000 miles, so I'm going to rotate them too. And then get it going. Be ready for our Santa Cruz trip. Alright, got these tires rotated. Better ones up front now. Cross torque sequence. Make sure the tire's nice and flat, and that's it.